G'day guys, welcome back, and if you're new here, welcome, and hit that subscribe button. And don't forget the bell so you never miss a new video. Let's begin. Hey guys, we're back this week with more stories about reality collapsing or glitches in the Matrix. A topic I absolutely love. We'll start today with a nice light story of children playing. So this is my first post, but I've been searching for a place to tell this story. I live in the busier part of Pennsylvania, where there is more stuff to do than just fields like the more northern parts. Since I live in these parts, I tend to go out with friends or such to the local parks around my town, or to a restaurant for a meal on the weekends. One weekend in the middle of July, me and my friends had decided to meet up at a local park to get the energy out of our systems and to not sit inside on such a nice day. I was around 12 at the time, and my friend was about 15. Him being older, he watched over me and was trusted to protect me by both of our parents. Now this park is one of the bigger parks of the ones here. It has a huge fence surrounding a giant climbing structure with 2 large double slides. There's soccer fields, baseball diamonds and volleyball courts along with other sports and exercise equipment around as well. Around the entire perimeter was a large pavement track, hiking path, for jogging or just walking. My friend had turned to me to suggest a walk around the park before heading in. I had agreed. We walked around the track and talked a bit as we travelled around. There was a young woman jogging around in front of us as well. She was wearing a purple t-shirt, blue running shorts and black sneakers. She had some white earphones in as well. She didn't seem out of the ordinary, but she had been running exactly in the middle of the track and unfortunately didn't want to move out of anyone's way. As we walked, the woman didn't particularly stop, which we found impressive compared to our skills, and stayed steadily ahead of us. Not too fast to escape our view, but sometimes drifting closer to us, but never going behind us as we walked along. We walked and eventually got close to the entrance of the playground part. We were talking and laughing normally until we turned around and saw the exact same woman we saw running in front of us. The exact same outfit she wore, a purple t-shirt, blue running shorts, and a pair of black sneakers. All tied together with her white earphones she wore still. As I had mentioned before, we never passed this woman. She ran continuously in front of us. We looked at her, and she smiled and waved at us and continued on running. We looked in front again, seeing the woman there as well. Both of them were running, as neither of them acted out of the other. The woman who originally was running in front of us stopped to answer a phone call, gently turned around as the other ran past her, and walked out of the parking lot, I assumed to her car to leave. She gently smiled at us and waved before walking past us as her duplicate ran along the track ahead of us. Okay, so the story wasn't so light, but hey, what do you expect? A duplicate woman would be unnerving as an adult. Imagine seeing one as a child. Could they have been twins? Why didn't they speak to each other? Is this a case of time travel? Our next story also involves children, but has a lot more people in it. We get normal day-to-day communications from our son's elementary school via emails and text about upcoming school events and such things. Earlier this week, we were notified that this coming Wednesday, the 29th, will be a minimum day, and kids will be getting out at 12:30 p.m. instead of 2:30 p.m. Me and my wife thought that was normal because it's the last week of school here. So come Wednesday, I leave the house to pick up my son from his school. As I'm walking towards the school, I wave a hello to this old lady who's always there on the side of the street waiting to pick up her grandchild after school. She says to me, "Kids are coming home early today." We slightly laugh about it, and I carry on walking to the school. As I'm getting closer to the school, I notice that it's pretty quiet around. Usually it's a ruckus when kids are out. A little baffled, I walk up to the usual waiting spot where I pick up my son, and I see 3 other parents there waiting as well. It's 12:35 p.m. at this point. We're all a bit anxious since even the gate is still locked. I ask one of the parents, "It's minimum day, right?" Everyone looks at each other and nods their heads in agreement. One of them says, "They're probably just late." It's 12:40 PM now, and I text my wife to confirm it's minimum day today. She doesn't reply back, so I walk over to the school office and ask the same question. The staff lady says, "No, today is not a minimum day. What makes you think that?" I tell her I received communication via email and text about there being a minimum day today. She asks for me to show her the email and text. I look at the phone and I am baffled. There is no such communication via text or email from his school. My mind just went blank at that point. The staff lady tells me to come back at the regular 2:30 PM time. I leave the office with a cloud of confusion above my head. I'm thinking, I know I saw that email and text last night that confirmed today is minimum day. On my way out, I tell the waiting parents it's not minimum day today, and they're all like, "What? What do you mean?" I direct them to the office and continue walking back home. I walk up to the lady waiting for her grandchild and tell her the same thing. And she too got a confused look on her face. Few things I want to mention. When my wife returned my text, and she too said she can't find communication anywhere on her phone, but does recall seeing it. We don't have shared accounts, by the way. Last night was the last time we both saw the communication on our phones about the minimum day. Another strange thing to mention is that I fell asleep last night while putting my son to sleep and even skipped dinner. That's very unusual for me because I stay up past late midnight if I'm off the next day. Woke up in the morning after 10 hours of sleep, which again is very unusual for me. I usually get 5 to 6 hours of sleep and wake up without an alarm. I wouldn't think much of this whole situation if only I were involved. I vividly remember seeing the communication. My wife had the same experience. And what about those other parents that came early to get their kids? None of this makes any sense. I totally agree with our poster. None of it makes any sense. All of those parents received an email that doesn't exist. Did the school make a mistake? What happened to the emails and texts? Repetition is said to be the key to mastery. Repetition is said to be the key to mastery. Does that apply to conversations too? I came across a post that included the subject of having a situation occur exactly the same in each setting, and I've had the same experience when visiting the dentist when I was younger. As a young girl, I had a good share of sweets. I've had a few cavities here and there, which meant I would have to get them filled by the dentist. Now, I only had one cavity every now and then, so let's say in total I had to go under a cavity filling 3 separate times within a large time span. The visit would go like this. I would be taken into a room where the dentist assistant would set up all of the tools. The dentist would come in and greet me and explain what would happen. Then I'd be put under laughing gas. Now, I know laughing gas is used to help alleviate what the dentist is doing, but each time the dentist and his assistant would have the exact same conversation. It's like I knew what they were going to say after having been put under once prior. It felt as if I couldn't move, but in my head I consciously knew what was going on and what would be said. The dentist and his assistant would talk about their weekend, and the assistant would always mention a major event, let's say a wedding. So she would say her daughter got married, and he would respond, and continue doing the filling. But each conversation was the exact same. It felt as if it were a musical number. Conversation, tool sounds, ask how I'm doing, repeat. My dentist also had this unique pitch and drawn-out tone when he talks, so it just added to the strange experiences. This all could have been due to being under laughing gas, but each time I was under, I knew exactly what was happening, like I've heard the conversation being spoken about before. Now I'm in my 20s and don't attend that office, but I can clearly remember lying in a chair and being confused about them speaking of the same topic when it's been a span of months or years. Also, no more cavities for me. My young self just couldn't help herself. Is this a case of false memories or deja vu? I've had similar experiences myself, so any answers would be great. Okay, so I know I normally only do 3 of these at a time, but I found one that I just had to put to a video as soon as I saw it. This occurred on the 25th of May 2019, I believe. This happened last Saturday. The story starts with me at Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport, printing out my plane ticket for Cardiff from one of those check-in machines that let you print your own plane ticket without waiting in the queue. I scan my passport, enter my destination, and voila, my ticket, boarding pass, gets printed with my name and other details on it. It also contained my seat and the gate number, which I checked to see where I needed to go. Gate L27, seat 18C. I put the ticket in my jacket in a zippable pocket on the inside, because I'm usually a tad paranoid about losing my boarding pass. Now, on the way to the gate on Charles de Gaulle Terminal 2E, you need to pass those automatic or manual, depends if you're an EU citizen or not, passport control booths. However, before entering the queue for the passport control, you need to let the airport officials quickly scan your boarding pass. This I did with success, after which I'll quickly put the boarding pass back in the same pocket. I entered the queue holding my passport, reached the automatic booth and scanned my passport without a problem. I put my passport back in the same pocket while verifying that my boarding pass is still inside. Check. I head to the security check, one where they check your bags and all. On the way there, you need to take a shuttle or train. Leaving the shuttle and just before the queue to a security check, there is yet another airport official standing with a barcode machine of sorts to check your boarding pass once again. And here it comes. Just before reaching the airport official, I pull out what I thought was my boarding pass and look at it. I notice the seat number is 66E. Thinking to myself, how the fuck is the plane so big? It's an hour flight. Also, wasn't my seat 18 something? Then I check the destination. Fucking Shanghai? I'm supposed to go to Cardiff. I realised that nothing matched my boarding pass details. The name on it did not resemble mine in even the slightest. Completely confused, I come to the airport clerk telling him I have another person's ticket. He scans it and the machine goes red, indicating the wrong gate wing for the flight to Shanghai. He then takes and rips the ticket, telling me, "Oh, you have another person's ticket, it seems. Please go to the check-in machine and get a new one on the floor above." I obviously comply and go print myself a new one. I get back to him and he nonchalantly chuckles at me, scans my boarding pass, and I head off. I really don't understand how this could have happened. I never let go of my ticket, so no one could have swapped it, by accident or not, as I was the only person ever holding it. But somehow, my real boarding pass disappeared, and I pulled a stranger's boarding pass from my zipped inside pocket. Wish I kept the guy's boarding pass. Now, this story blew my mind. Given the state of airport security these days, this could have ended very, very badly for our poster. Was it a misprint from the airport? Could airport security accidentally pass back the wrong pass? Why did the second security guard laugh? Did he know about the other person's ticket being swapped around already? Is it some sort of magician in the airport just swapping people's tickets out willy-nilly? So there we have it. Let me know your opinions in the comments down below. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. If you do like what I do, consider supporting me on Patreon. You can also come and chat with me over on the Opinionated Outcast Discord. Until next time, good night.